wild salmon first. We don't want your open net fish farms. We don't want your open net fish farms. We don't want your open net fish farms. This is a really good day today, my dear ones. My hands go up to each and every one of you for answering the call to come and take a stand for wild salmon. And the reason why we're here is because we don't want these open net feedlots in our coastal waters here. As you can see very clearly, this perfectly depicts why this aquaculture industry is underregulated, irresponsible, unethical, unsustainable, contaminated, and they're nothing but floating sewers. Floating sewers that release species, manure that is untreated into the ocean, into the marine environment. They're breeding grounds for viruses, bacteria, and sea lice. So we've tried to expose this, to talk with government, to reason with government, and they're not listening. So the government has gone through a Cohen Commission that came up with some 75 recommendations with a very, very big focus on the open net feedlots. And so far the government has put that Cohen Commission report in the dustbin. And the provincial government is not doing anything either. So it rests the last thing that happens in order for us to protect our wild salmon, to protect the marine environment, to protect biodiversity, is for us as consumers to take back our power, to use our power as consumers and boycott net-fed farm salmon. That's the thing that we have to do. The industry, the aquaculture industry, which is predominantly owned by the Norwegians on the coastal waters of BC and around the world. They're a multi-billion-dollar corporation. They have bought out the federal and provincial governments. Yeah. And they, in all their advertising that they do, try to promote themselves as organic. Is that allowed or is that not allowed? That's a joke.
Yeah, that's a joke. You're right.
Joke. Here, as you can see, dioxins and dioxin-like PCBs. When you look at eggs, raw milk, look at pork, chicken, beef,
and GMO.
Levels of dioxins and dioxin-like PCBs. Look at this, 41.6% against 5, 5.5, 4, 3, and 1.3. That's disgusting. You can't call this organic.
Nope.
In any stretch of the imagination. And we can see here further that the feed that they are giving to these farm salmon include chicken feathers. It includes pig meat. It includes antibiotics. It includes GMO.
GMO, yeah, right.
It includes GMO soy. Is GMO good for us? No.
It's poison.
Poison.
Yeah, right.
Right. It's poison. So they're they're taking all these contaminants, and that's what goes into the farm salmon. Humans, when they consume it, especially mothers and pregnant women, you know, pregnant women and their children, when they absorb this, pregnant mothers flush all these toxins, these contaminants right into a baby, and the baby can be born with ADHD, it can be born with autism, it can be born with many other sicknesses, and that needs to be avoided, like the plague. So I've been a part of this great movement for some time now, and we've had a lot of really good people join this movement, and it's growing much bigger than it ever has been before. We've sent the message to Walmart. To much of our surprise, we are very pleased to report that Walmart is starting to listen now.
Oh, yeah!
Taking a look at their seafood policy. And we've been promoting Sea Choice. Sea Choice, red list, net pen farm salmon to avoid. They're going to make a decision come the end of March as to whether or not they're going to withdraw their net pen farm salmon from the coolers. And it's our hope that they do so. We've really connected the Director of Social Responsibility with Living Oceans, and they are dialoguing and exchanging good information about what is the best course to take. Land-based aquaculture is where it's at, because it removes these net pens from the migration routes of our wild salmon. That's what we want Superstore to do. We have sent a message to the Director of Seafood Sustainability that oversees rallies, and that includes Superstore. We haven't got a response yet, but we're not going to give up. We're going to give them their chance. Today, we have some 7 other locations where we're staging boycott rallies like this one. There's one in Duncan, there's one in Nanaimo, Surrey, North Vancouver, Burnaby, and we're sending people to Victoria Superstore. And many of the customers that come in and out of the stores, when we provide them with the information, they express their gratitude. Many of them are already aware of how contaminated net pen farm salmon are, and they say they'll never eat it. But we need to share the information, provide them with the tools that they need to do to spread the word, not only to their families, but to their friends and neighbors. And that's what we'll do, one step at a time. One customer at a time will be persuaded to let net pen farm salmon rot in those shells, those coolers. Until the time comes when they're forced to come to their senses and make that decision to remove those overnet pen farms from the migration routes of our wild salmon and start thinking of putting them on land into containment, using food that's lower on the chain, the food chain, and also to follow strict regulations to make the seafood sustainable. Put wild salmon first.